All right, it's Friday, it's one day before game day. Tomorrow the stadium is going to be absolutely popping. If Loftus was anything to go by last week, then this is going to be some party. The Springboks are feeling good. Ireland still think they have a chance in this game to take something back home with them. If you haven't, make sure to leave your opinions and predictions down in the comments. Leave this video a like and absolutely murder that subscribe button. Still about 85% of you that watch this channel on a regular basis are not subscribed. So what can we expect from tomorrow's game? Well, Rassie Erasmus has named an unchanged 23-man side, making it the most capped Springbok side ever to play. Andy Farrell has had to make a couple of substitutions because of some injuries, but interestingly, Jamie Osborne has been left in that number 15 jersey. He made his debut for Ireland last week. He scored a try. He was quite impressive, and a guy that's coming from inside centre who plays for Leinster to debut for Ireland at 15, he did a very, very good job. But I don't think the Springboks really tested him that much. The conditions here in Durban are hot. It's humid, it's going to be a lot more sticky, so I do think there's going to be a couple more handling errors, and I do think Pollard, Villy, Faf are going to put up a lot more high balls for the likes of Kurtley Arendse and Cheslin Kolbe to chase tomorrow, to really try and put Jamie Osborne under pressure at the back. Do I think we're going to see the same attacking style of rugby that the Springboks played at Loftus? Probably. I mean, they're working on a new system. It looked very, very good at times. There were a little bit of growing pains for that system, as it can be expected, and I do think it's going to be a lot more difficult for them to play that game plan here in Durban, where it's a lot more humid, where there probably will be a lot more handling errors. So it is going to be interesting to see how the Springboks counteract that. Are they going to kick a little bit more? Are they going to stick to this attacking style of play? I mean, they've named the same unchanged 23 for a reason, so that they can get some continuation and really work on the system and get it under their belts. With the conditions being so sticky, we do expect to see a couple of handling errors, which means that the set piece is going to be very, very important. Last week we saw Andrew Porter get the better of Frans Malherbe in the scrum. I'm sure Frans didn't take too kindly to that, so I would expect Frans Malherbe to bounce back. Ox and Furlong are also going to have a good battle up front there. I thought Bongi was maybe a little bit quiet in that first game. So the set pieces are definitely going to be a massive, massive factor tomorrow, and we saw the difference for the Springboks last week was that bomb squad coming on, all six of them coming on at the same time and getting that penalty try in sort of the 77th minute. In a press conference last week, Conor Murray seemed pretty enthusiastic and optimistic about this clash. I mean, he stated that the Springboks got the better of them in that first half, which I definitely think the Springboks did. They didn't capitalize on all the opportunities they made, and they're going to have to be a little bit more clinical this week. But Conor Murray said that they sort of figured out the system, Tony Brown's system. They knew that the Springboks were going to play more of an expansive game because of Tony Brown, and they sort of acclimatized to that in the second half, which I do think we saw. Ireland were a lot better in the second half than that they were in the first half. And now with Casey being out injured, unfortunately, Conor Murray is now stepping up into that starting position, which is going to give Ireland a whole lot more experience in that 9 position. I'm sure we're going to see a lot more kicking from off the ruck by Conor Murray, and he just brings that extra little bit of experience, cool, calm, collected, BMT, to sort of free up Crowley a bit. I thought Crowley was also a little bit quiet last week and maybe didn't step up to the occasion, but I think with Conor Murray at 9, Crowley at 10, they're going to have a lot more fluidity, and I think Ireland could be quite dangerous. I mean, Conor Murray is, like I said, quite optimistic, and I think Ireland do think they can end this series 1-1. Now for the Springboks, Faf and Handré Pollard last week were a little bit flat. Obviously, they haven't played together for a while. The last time Handré Pollard played was about 2 months ago for the Leicester Tigers. We saw him miss a couple of kicks, 3 penalties, which is very much unlike Handré Pollard. Those are the only kicks he's missed since before the Rugby World Cup, so that just shows how good of a player he is. I thought maybe they should have started Sasha Feinberg and Gumazulu this week, really give him a chance, really give him a go, but I wouldn't be surprised to see Sasha come on for the last 20-25 minutes and really see Rassie test him and give him some game time in that number 10 jersey. So which players should we be watching out for on either side of the 23? Well, I think for the Springboks, Cheslin Kolbe was very, very good last week. He sort of made a try out of nothing through James Lowe's mistake. Cheslin is always elusive. He's going to be dangerous, and I think with the handling maybe being a little bit sticky tomorrow, Cheslin is going to have to finish off the chances that he gets, and I think the same for Kurtley Arendse. They're going to have very good games. I'm sure they're going to do a lot more chasing, putting Jamie Osborne under a lot more pressure. Then Damian de Allende, I thought he had a very, very good game on Saturday in this new sort of Springbok attacking system. We normally see Damian de Allende really running it up the middle, down that 12 channel, crash ball, and then we recycle. Damian de Allende made like 12 or 13 passes last week, and it's come out that Tony Brown thinks that De Allende is the best passer in that Springbok side. So I think we can expect De Allende to give some more balls out wide to the likes of Willie Leroux, Jesse Kriel, even Siya Kolisi and Pieter-Steph du Toit have been found sort of in that 13-14 channel. So I think if Damian De Allende has a good game and he can distribute well to the wings, the Springboks will really find some nice space outside and sort of leave their lethal men, Kurtley Arendse, Jesse Kriel, Willie Leroux and Cheslin Colby with a lot of opportunities to take. I also then think Kwagga Smith last week was a little bit of a surprise selection at that number 8 position. We know how good he's been for the Springboks. We saw it in the Rugby World Cup. He's really that impact player. They speak about his battle stats and how influential he is in a game. I think he had quite a quiet game last week. He made a couple of handling errors off of kickoff, and I do think Kwagga, Rassie played him for 80 minutes last week, so Rassie obviously sees him as quite a key forward in that pack and that you can't really take him off. So I think Kwagga needs to have a good game. He needs to make minimal mistakes. He needs to turn over a lot of ball, because I think that's where Ireland also put the Springboks under a lot of pressure last week, was at ruck time. Ireland turned over a lot of balls and the ceiling just needs to be a bit better. I think that's also because of the attacking style of play, so maybe there's not always that much support for those players trying to break through those gaps, trying to play a little bit wider. As soon as you go wider, there's less forwards to sort of secure that ruck. So Kwagga needs to have a very, very good game. And then from Ireland's point of view, they've brought in Gary Ringrose, and we know how experienced and how lethal Gary Ringrose can be. I think he's again got to bring that experience, the same like Conor Murray. They've sort of gone for a little bit more of an experienced side this week, really going to try and grind it out, make minimal mistakes, put the Springboks under pressure. But Gary Ringrose is a handful, and if we give him too much space, we could be conceding some tries tomorrow in that stadium. And then again, Jamie Osborne is going to be very, very vital to Ireland's game plan. If the Springboks can put him under a lot of pressure, under the high balls, make him catch a lot, Kurtley, Cheslin chasing, then I think we could get a couple of handling errors in the 22, and therefore the Springboks will scrum, and we know how good the Springbok scrum is. So I think that's probably the way they're going to go. They might not be as expansive tomorrow, but rather put Jamie Osborne under a lot of pressure with chases, Jesse Kriel, Kurtley Arendse and Cheslin Colby. So what is my prediction for tomorrow? Well, I think the Springboks could run away with it if they are pinpoint accurate, but like we say, the conditions here in Durban are normally a little bit sticky, and it is difficult to have low handling errors. So I think the Springboks are going to play a little bit tighter. It's probably still going to be around a 1-score game. I do think Ireland have more of a chance than they did at Loftus. We're now back down to sea level, and we always speak about altitude and how difficult it is playing at Loftus. But Ireland also a very proud nation. They'll want to go back with a 1-1 draw and still say they are the best in the world. So for me, Andre Pollard needs to have a good game, Faf needs to have a good game, Willie needs to distribute well, the forwards need to dominate those first set pieces, because we saw them struggle a little bit last week. Then the bomb squad come on and do what the bomb squad do. So for me, I do think if the Springboks click, if they get it right, we could see quite a high scoring game. But for me, I'm going to go Springboks by 10 points. Let me know your guys' predictions down in the comments. If you haven't, make sure you leave this video a like. And as always, absolutely moer that subscribe button. I'll see you guys in the next one. Take it easy. Peace.